welcome to Sentiments. This is Donna Jackson of Donna Jackson LLC and DonnaJackson.biz. Today, you will meet me in the kitchen. I invite you to come join me as I prepare one of my very favorite meals, beet soup. So let's get started. Before we begin, let's briefly talk about aging and diet. Now, there's so many different diets that are out there, and there are so many different recommended diets to stay healthy. So as we get older, we realize that diet can contribute to disease and can help prevent or eliminate some diseases. So the question is always, when it comes to dinner, what can we eat? And how exactly does diet and lead to disease prevention? Well, I'm not an expert on nutrition science, nor do I have any kind of a medical background, but I'm just happy to report that I'm relatively healthy for my age, and I'm going to prepare for you one of my very favorite meals that I feel like give me enough calories and enough macronutrients and micronutrients to sustain me. So that's what I would like to share with you today. Hello, my name is Donna Jackson. Welcome to Sentiments in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be preparing beetroot soup. Now, why am I going to prepare this? Well, because number one, I enjoy beets. I think they're very good. And when I prepare my beetroot soup, I use the roots, the stems, and the leaves. So I want everything that the plant offers, right? So that is why I use the whole plant. Also, of course, I'm going to be preparing it in this very large pot here, and there's usually quite a bit left over, so I store the excess in these jars. Now, beets are supposedly very high in manganese and folate, and manganese, I read, was really essential in helping to regulate our blood pressure. So, among other wonderful nutritional benefits beets have, that is just one of many, of course. So that is why I try to incorporate them into my diet. I'm not a meat eater, so I try to get my protein from other sources, and I'll talk a little bit about that throughout the rest of the video. So sit back, relax. Again, I am Donna Jackson, and you are watching Sentiments in the Kitchen. Stay tuned. Okay. So you guys, we don't have very many beets, not as many as I thought I had. So I'm just going to use this old faithful baby Dutch oven, okay? So we got our little Dutch oven. We're going to rinse her out. She gets pretty warm. So this is the simplest thing you can make. Basically, you heat it up. You don't add any seasoning or anything. You cook everything together. The beets get nice and tender. You blend them together with all of your seasoning in your blender, and that's it. So I use this. I make this really simple soup because it is filling and it's easy to prepare. So let's get started. So I've got my beets here, and they're beautiful, of course. Now, this is small. So the pot that I had was humongous before. This one's teeny tiny, and the one that I need has something else in it, so I can't use it. But I'm going to improvise with this. So we're just going to add our beets, and my hands are clean, so it's simple. Basically, we're going to add all of our beets. We have washed them thoroughly and rinsed them thoroughly. We have, we're going to add all of our beets. We're going to cook this part. We're going to heat it up to boil, of course. We're not going to add anything to this pot at all. This is probably going to take altogether maybe about 30 minutes or so total prep time. All right. I'm also going to add all of the stalks and all of the leaves. Now this is the tricky part because I've never done this in this particular pot before, so we'll just see how it goes. Right? Adding everything. Okay. I'm just going to improvise because all this is going to cook down anyway because it's going to get tender. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Want something fancy here. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to work. Let me try. Pour water in enough to cover. Let's see. We're going to add water. We're going to try to cover up all of the beets at the bottom. And we are going to cover this until it begins to start a nice, soft, rolling wave. That's perfect, actually. Okay, so we've got everything inside. That's what we want to see. We're going to cover this baby up, and we're going to cross our fingers that nothing goes wrong. But if it does, it'll all be on camera. I won't edit anything out. So this is step one to making your beet soup. Okay, so we have a rapid boil. Perfect. I'm going to turn it down to low just so that the boil continues, but it simmers. I'm going to check it periodically. And the beautiful thing about beets, you guys, is that they make such a beautiful color and they're so rich. So I'm going to check it probably within the next 20 minutes. This is step two. Our beets, our stems, and our leaves are cooking. I'll check back in just a little while. All right, let's check and see how they're looking. Wow, that looks so good. I told you that these leaves and stems would just collapse, and they have. Now, I've got a nice fork here, and I'm trying to see whether or not the roots themselves have become tender. And they're getting there. Not quite there yet, almost. But this is step 2.5. Alright, so this is the final check. Let's see. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. Everything has cooked all the way down. The beets are ready, and the stems and the leaves are ready. Everything is perfect. So now all I'm going to do is blend this together with my seasoning. I also wanted to mention that I will be pairing a half a cup to 3/4 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt along with my beet soup to supplement my protein intake because I don't eat meat. And that's going to give me about 16 grams of the 42 grams of protein that I need every day. So I have to be mindful of that. So we will begin part 3, the final part of this process, in just a moment.